Hey everyone, we're back with Luke Plays Lead. Got another video today. Topic I did want to talk about. I've had a couple topics that I've wanted to make videos about recently, and then I'm like, well, I don't know everything. Not that I know everything about all the other topics, because I certainly don't. But I'm just trying to be careful about, making a video, releasing it, and then being like, oh, I don't really not agree with it anymore, but I'm not sure if I knew all the details of what I was talking about, or whatever it may be. Not that that's really happened too much. There's things I've said in past videos that I'm like, well, maybe I do that differently now, but I still stand by things I've said. But this one is less of a tutorial, or I guess less of a tutorial, more of like an informational / me asking for other people's thoughts on the topic, because it's something that I have been struggling with, and that is wet embouchure versus dry embouchure. I have forever been a wet embouchure player for as long as I can remember. I might have been dry back in college, and maybe I switched to wet during my terrible, terrible shift of bad playing in junior year of college. And you can see it in my videos, like the longest time, and I go to play, I'm like, I basically wet every single part of the mouthpiece. Now, that's probably not. There's part of me that thinks maybe I do play in a wet embouchure, but that's not wet embouchure. That's a wet mouthpiece, which is probably always bad, which I'll get into, because I think a lot of my issues recently, just in the past 3-4 years, I've been getting better steadily. I've been doing more things, been able to play more things. Consistency's getting better, but my main issue is just that, consistency. My consistency's gotten way, 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 way better than it has been, a couple of years ago. But I still have those days where it's just I can play phenomenally, and just a day or two later, just I can't play anything anymore. And I think speculated that maybe part of that was just with how maybe I don't play, maybe not a wet embouchure, but wetting the mouthpiece or whatever. So I've been experimenting with not doing all that, and just kind of to wet my lips beforehand. Playing that, trying to set up the embouchure dry, which has been really, 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 really hard for me. I've been struggling a lot with it. But when it works, when I find what the embouchure should be, I don't think I've uploaded the shorts to YouTube. I'll do that. I have two shorts of me playing stuff. When it works, boy, does it work. It feels phenomenal. And I'm I can play through the registers without any issues or shifts. And, I can play a double high C strong. And it was at the end of, the main thing that was interesting with it was my endurance, I think, improved the most, probably because I'm not shifting around. When I'm playing it, I have the wet embouchure. I'm talking too fast. When I have the wet embouchure, I'm probably, even just slight movements, can really affect what you're doing here. And if I have the wet mouthpiece on my wet embouchure, I'm probably at least moving millimeters up and down through the course of a soli. The one that comes to mind I've been playing recently was Count Bubba, or Count Bubba's Revenge, one of the two. But the G at the end of it, boo-ba-doo-wah, even if I played most of it pretty good, towards the end, I'm I don't feel physically too tired, but I just feel like it's not working anymore. I'm airing out our notes, I'm losing stuff. And that soli section's it's a page long. And towards the end there, I've never really, getting that G has always been a big struggle for me. But on the days that I can get the dry embouchure to work, the G comes out every time with little effort. I'll say little no effort, but it comes out with, it sounds good, I should say. It's just, I don't want to say there's no effort, but I'm not really trying versus before. Every single time I go to play that, by the time I get to the G, I feel like this doesn't feel like it's gonna come out at all, and then it doesn't. It just airs out, and I could try as hard or as little as I want, and I can never get it out until I take the mouthpiece off, take a couple seconds, reset back to where I want it to be, and then the G comes out, which makes me think in the moment I'm shifting up and down slightly and ruining my embouchure. Which is in return making me miss notes. Where the dry embouchure, you have that friction there to stop you from moving up and down, so that my embouchure is pretty consistent the whole way through. And by the time the G comes out, I'm still set up where I want to be. I have the muscle and everything to do it, and it just works. It comes out. So I'll upload those 2 shorts. It's not of Comp Up as Revenge. One is the end of Wayneology. And I end on the double high C, which I haven't been able to do before until on the one day I was getting the dry embouchure down and it worked, and I could play that. And then the other is the end of Friend Like Me, Wayne's part there, which also ends on a double B, which I was able to play, which has not happened before. So I think I want to say all my issues stem from this wet versus dry embouchure thing, and now I might be thinking of this wrong. Like, I do still lick my lips, so my embouchure is wet, but I'm not like, I'm not trying to not get all this wet. Because I think that's what's causing me to shift. Now, this has been a very big struggle for me, and I want to ask for if anyone has any tips or ideas, or, how do you, if you play on, most people probably don't do what I do, where they lick the whole thing. When you don't do that, how do you set up the embouchure? Because I feel like as soon as I put the mouthpiece on my lips, like, it can't move. Normally, I lick, and I kind of move it up and down until I'm at the spot I want to be at. But when it's dry, I can't really do that. As I put it on, I can't move it up and down anymore. And oftentimes, I end up with something like this. And it's tight. I can tell the embouchure just sucks. It's just not good. So I have to, set up the embouchure beforehand, and try to find it. And, hope it works. Hope I find it correctly. And there are some days where I just can't really find it exactly where I'm supposed to be. And, I think after working at it enough, I will eventually get the muscle memory of where it's supposed to be every day. And I feel, we'll be hunky-dory. What does that even mean? Hunky-dory. I don't know. We'll be good. But I think, maybe if your experience is coming with the same issues I am, maybe experiment with that. I know there are people that play on wet embouchure, some people play on dry embouchure. My advice is, if you do play on a wet embouchure, maybe try not to lick the mouthpiece, because you probably are moving around, mouthpiece on the lips, which could affect how much upper lip to lower lip you have in the mouthpiece, which is, Reinhardt stuff, which could be bad, because you probably need a certain amount of each in the mouthpiece, and when you're moving around, you're probably changing it and maybe changing the pressure and stuff. So that is something I just wanted to ask for advice on. If anyone has any ideas, how do you set up the embouchure and then put the mouthpiece on, or do you just set up the upper lip and then try to move the lower lip into place, or I don't know, how do you go about it? If you want to leave a comment, that would be awesome, and give you some advice, because it's going decent. I'm struggling with it a lot for sure, but on days it works, it feels amazing. So I would like to find out how to get it consistent. That's all I have for you for this video. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I want to upload another video on another thing I've been working on that's helped, which is lips, the amount of lip in the mouth, playing on the red versus not playing on the red of the lip, which is another thing I've been experimenting on, and that kind of has to do with curling under lip. I had a stunt. I had a couple days recently. I was really curling it in, and I don't think that was working at all. I think I went too far on that, because I used to play on the red. This is for the other video, but you're getting a sneak peek. I used to play in the red a decent bit. You can't really see it, but the bottom part of this mouthpiece is on the very thing, and I think I was kind of spreading my lips with pressure and ruining that. So that's another thing that I've been trying to change recently. So two embouchure shifts, which are not fun things to go through. If you've gone through an embouchure change, let me know, stuff that helped you going through it, because it's been a while since I've gone through one. And then just also making sure my jaw is far back. I talked about that in a previous video, but making sure my jaw is enough apart. I always find myself wanting to creep my teeth together to make them close, when things are not going well, and I can't figure out why. A lot of times I find my teeth are that close together when I'm playing, as opposed to that close. I still don't really know what the correct distance is for your teeth to be apart. I'm trying to find. I'm sure it's different. It's trumpet. It's different for everyone, but I'm trying to find what's right for me. There's some days where I'm oh yeah, that's good, but even in this video, I've talked about 4 to 5 different moving parts. So trying to find out which one I need to change for better results on a given day is hard, and I'm trying not to overanalyze it, but that can be hard because I want to be better at the trumpet, and I want to find out what's wrong as opposed to just accept that maybe it's just a bad day. I don't know. I talked with Louie about that recently. Maybe you're just having a bad day. Who knows? So that's it. Hopefully you'll see you in the next video. Leave your thoughts and comments on dry and wet embouchure. I'd love to read them and reply to them if possible. So thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.